Greetings to everyone. I am Pranita. I am P. Sindhuja. I am Nikhila. In this video, we are going to give presentation on a detailed analysis on functions
as a part of course activity 2 in Python.
So let's get started. So here are the concepts to be discussed in this video. First topic we are going to discuss is function declaration, and second one is function calling, and third one is arguments in functions, and ultimately final one is return statements. Function declaration. To know what is a function declaration, we need to know what is a function. A function is a block of code which only runs when it is called. You can pass data known as parameters into a function. A function can return data as a result. What is the function declaration and how it is used? A function declaration is a way to define a reusable block of code that performs a specific task. It allows you to encapsulate a set of instructions into a named entity, making your code modular and easier to understand and maintain. Declaring functions in Python promotes modularity and improves code organization. Declaring functions in Python is a fundamental practice that enhances code structure, promotes code reuse, improves maintainability, and simplifies testing and debug. So here we need to know the syntax to declare a function. We generally use def keyword to define a function. So here def function underscore name parenthesis is a function declaration. Here we can pass arguments or parameters if they are necessary. And in the function body, we can write the logic what we want to implement. And if you want to return a value or something, you can return in a function. So let us go through a simple example, basic example. Def my function parenthesis colon. Here my function is a name I have assigned to this example, to this function. So I want to print hello world. So I just return print hello world in the double quotes. And until or unless it is useless if we haven't called the function. So I just call the function. How we have to call the function? My function name and parenthesis. So here is the output of this code, hello world. And this is just a simple code. Here there is another code in which we perform a mathematical operation, that is the subtraction between the two numbers. Get into another example. Here I have declared a function greet. When we want to call a function multiple times, that is more than 2 times, we use here f in the print statement to make the code efficient. So here I have called the function using 2 names, and here is the output like hello Anika, how are you today? And hello Blake, how are you today? Now, let's look into another interesting topic, function call. What is a function call? Function calling is the process of invoking or executing a function in a programming language. When a function is called, the program transfers control to that function, executes the statements inside the function, and then returns control back to the point where the function was called. And function calling typically involves specifying the name of the function followed by parentheses. The parentheses may contain arguments or parameters that are passed to the function. These arguments provide input values that the function can use to perform its tasks. Now, let's go through the syntax of the function call. In this function calling, we return the name of the function, function underscore name, and return few statements, and later on we called it. And like a person who's being called by his or her name, in the same way, in Python, the function can be called
by its name, function underscore name. Now, let us look into this program. In this program, I return a function name, and I return few statements that are required that for my requirements. Now, I would like to print name equal to live here, but when we run this code, I got the output as name equal to class str, which is not my desired output. So when we look into this code, I forgot to call the function. So if we call the function, we may get our desired output name equal to Lavia, but the output is different. Hence, we can say that we can't achieve the desired output until the function is called. Let's go into the another example. Let us consider a function named myFun. In myFun, we return two statements. First line, we would like to print hello world, and second line, we would like to print welcome to the Python. Now, how these can be executed? Until or unless it is called, these logic can't be executed. So, without any indentation, we have called my function, myFun. So, here is the output goes. For better understanding, let us look into the another example. In this example, we have two functions, outFun and infun. And we may notice that the infun is returned in the outfun. So, how this code got executed? By looking into the output, we may see that the print statement written in the outfun got executed first, and then the print statement written in the infun got executed. So the outfun got executed first, and later infun got executed, which is written inside the outfun. Coming to the third topic, arguments in Python. In Python, there are three different types of arguments we can give to a function. In the parenthesis, the three types of arguments are positional arguments, keyword arguments, default arguments. Coming to the positional arguments are the arguments that can be called by their position in the function definition. Here is the example for positional arguments. Here, name and age are the positional arguments of the function nameIs. Now, when the nameIs function is called, the name got replaced with Pari and the age got replaced with 20, and here we get the output, hi, I am Pari and my name is 20. Why? Why this happened? Why the name got replaced with Pari and the age got replaced with 20? The reason behind this is in Python, name and age are the actual parameters and Pari and 20 are formal parameters. And the first actual parameter get replaced with first formal parameter, and the second actual parameter got replaced with second formal parameter, and we have to notice that the number of actual parameters must be equal to the number of formal parameters. Let us consider another example. Let us take the function minus. Here, I would like to return a minus b, which I passed the values 20, 10. I would like to return 20 minus 10, that is 10. But let us see the result. Here, I called the function minus b, a. We may notice that I have changed the position of the arguments. As I changed the position of the arguments, I got another output which is not as same as the previous output minus 10. So, if the user by default changes the position of the parameters, the output was totally being changed. To overcome this consequence, we have another type of arguments, that is keyword arguments, which gives us better clarity to run the code. The second type of arguments in Python are keyword arguments. Keyword arguments are the arguments that can be called by their name. For brief, let us go into the example. We have the function named greet and it has actual parameters name, age and city. For keyword arguments uses, let us look into the function calling. In the function calling greet, the former parameters are assigned to their respective actual parameters. So there is no chance for the ambiguity. So we get the desired output and there is no scope for making mistakes. So in first function call, I got the output as hello Alice, you're 25 years old and living in New York, and I also called greet by giving another former parameters to the same actual parameters by swapping the positions. So even though we swap the positions, our desired output with logic haven't changed. So even though we changed the order from name is city to city is name, output is as same as the function called in the previous case. So we got the output as hello Bob, you're 30 years old and live in London. Here are the few more examples that depicts the usage of keyword arguments in the Python programs.
Default arguments. These are the arguments that are given default values. To understand this better, let us get into an example given below. The code defines a function called student that takes three parameters: first name, last name, and standard. The function prints out the student's name and the standard they are studying in. When calling the function, providing one argument, student John uses the default values for last name and standard, providing three arguments: student of John, Gates, 10, assigns each argument to the respective parameter. Providing two arguments, that is student of John, Gates, use the default value for standard. Providing two arguments with second one misplaced, student of John, 10 raises an error because the function expects the second argument to be last name, not standard. And this is how the output here, like John Mark studies in 12th standard, John Gates studies in the 10th standard. Special symbols used for passing arguments in Python. There are two types: star args. These are non-keyword arguments, and second one is double star quarks. What is Python star args? Special syntax. Args in the function definitions in Python is used to pass a variable number of arguments to a function. It is used to pass a non-keyworded variable length argument list. To understand it better, let us go through an example given below. This code defines a function called myFun that accepts a variable number of arguments using the star argv syntax. The star argv parameter allows the function to receive any number of positional arguments, which are then stored in the star argv tuple. In this specific example, when the function myFun is called with the arguments hello, welcome, to, swag, the arguments are passed into the argv tuple. The for loop iterates over each element in the argv tuple, and the print statement prints each argument on a separate line. Therefore, when you run myFun hello welcome to swag, the output will be as follows. What is Python double stack quarks? The special syntax double stack quarks in function definitions in Python is used to pass a keyworded variable length argument list, We use the name quarks with a double star. The reason is that the double star allows us to pass through keyword arguments and any number of them. Okay, I'm going to explain an example to understand better. The code defines a function called myFun that accepts keyword arguments using the double star quarks syntax. The double star quarks parameter allows the function to receive any number of keyword arguments which are then stored in the quarks dictionary. In this specific example, when the function myFun is called with the keyword arguments first equals to hello, mid equals to swag, and last equals to exclamatory mark, these arguments are passed into the quarks dictionary. The for loop iterates over each key value paired in the quarks dictionary, and the print statement prints each key value pair in the format key double equals to value. Therefore, when you run myFun function, the output will be as follows.
Let us discuss our last topic in return statements in Python. The Python return statement is a special statement that you can use inside a function or method to send the function's result back into the caller. A return statement consists of return keyword followed by an optional return value. Let us look into the syntax. Here we consider fun as a function and it return an expression we require. Make sure that the return statement written inside the function fun. For our better understanding, let us look into the example. This code defines a function named getEven that makes a list of numbers as its parameter. Inside the function, there is a list comprehension that iterates over each element num in the numbers list. The condition not num mod 2 checks if the element divisible evenly by 2, whether it's an even number. If the condition evaluates to true, the number is added to the get even numbers list. Finally, the function returns the even numbers list. This contains only even numbers from the original input list. In the example provided, the function is called with the list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The output 2, 4, 6 is returned because these are only the numbers in the input list that are divisible evenly by 2, the even numbers. In summary, return statements in Python are used to explicitly return values from the functions, terminate the function prematurely, or provide the multiple return paths. They allow you to control the flow of your program and make the functions more versatile and reusable.